lesson is over the distributive property. A baking company charges $1.75 per slice of cake for baking and 35 cents per slice for decorating. How much would a decorated cake cost containing 150 slices? Generate two equivalent expressions using the distributive property. Many ways you can solve this. So we know if you buy 150 slices, it will cost $1.75 per slice. So 150 times $1.75. And if you buy 150 slices and it costs 35 cents per slice for decorating, 150 times 35 cents. So you figure out what this is, you figure it, and then you add because they want you to find the total cost. This is one way you could set it up. What if you would like to set it up like this way? It costs $1.75 and 35 cents to decorate, to bake and decorate. You're buying how many slices? 150. So this is another way you could do it. So both of these are equivalent expressions. From this, you can use the distributive property and get 150 times 175 plus 150 times 35 cents. So for each term, give an example of two expressions that are equivalent and demonstrate the property. Commutative property is something like this. 5 times 3, 3 times 5, 8 plus 2, 2 plus 8. It means if you turn it around, commute, go back and forth, it'll be equivalent. Like 5 times 3 is the same as saying 3 times 5. 8 plus 2 is the same as saying 2 plus 8. That's commutative property. Associative property is when you have three terms, like 8 plus 4 plus 6 equal 8 plus 4 plus 6. But if you add parentheses, 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 6 is 18. 8 plus 10 is 18, so they're both equivalent. And what if you use multiplication? 2 times 3 times 5 equal 2 times 3 times 5. When you multiply, even with parentheses or grouping symbols, it'll still be equivalent because 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 5 is 30. 2 times 15 is also 30. Identity property is you come back with the same answer. 5 plus 0 is 5. Or 6 6 plus 0 is 6. 5. And so those are identity, coming back with the same answer. Inverse is the opposite. Like for example, the fraction 2/3. The opposite, inverse of 2/3 is 3/2, which is 1. And inverse, another one is 5 plus -5 is 0. And last but not least, the distributive property is 7. It's group of m plus 4. What's 7 groups of m? 7m. Plus, what's 7 groups of 4? 28. So let's go look at the distributive property. We're going to be using it with algebra tile model and using symbolic representation. So a rectangular bar represents the variable, any letter like x, y, m, z, and these little square represents the units like 1, 2, 1, units of 1. So we have 4 groups of 6 plus 5. So here's 6, and here's 5. We have 4 groups of it. Oh goodness gracious, I will have to draw this again. Another group of 3, 6, 3, 6. Another group of 6. And group of 5. So you have 4 groups of 6 plus 5, 6 plus 5, 6 plus 5, 6 plus 5. What if you do not want to use algebra tile? What if you don't want to draw it out like this? We could do it like this way. What's 4 groups of 6? 4 groups of 6 plus 4 groups of 5. 4 groups of 6 is 24. 4 groups of 5 is 20. Together, it adds up to 44. To check your answer, what's 6 plus 5? 11. 4 groups of 11 is 44. Next one. 5 groups of j plus 3. This will be representing the variable j plus 3 units. You need to do 5 groups of this. Here's the third groups. Here's the fourth group. Here's the fifth group. So, what do you count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 j's plus how many units do you see? 15. So I got 5j plus 15. What if you do not like using algebra tiles? Using the arrow, what's 5j? 5 groups of j plus 5 groups of 3, so 5j plus 15. Another way to do it is this way. If you don't like using algebra, could you do, it's 5 groups of j plus 3, so j plus 3, j plus 3, j plus 3, j plus 3, j plus 3. If you add this up, how many j's do you have in all? 5 j's. But how many 3's do you have? We're 15. That's another way to do it. So we have 7 groups of 8 minus k. So I need to draw 8 minus k. 8 minus k. Oh God, I have to draw 7 groups of this. 4, 5, 6, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 groups of it. Ugh. This is my 6th group of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, we have 8 minus k's. So, this is a lot of units. How many units do you see here? I see 56 of them. Minus how many k's do I see? I see 7 k's. So that's how I got my answer. Or, if I do not want to use algebra tiles, what's 7 groups of 8? 56 minus, what's 7 groups of k? 7k. So 56 minus 7k. Another way to do it is you can rewrite 8 minus k 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you add up all of these 8s, it adds up to 56 8s. Minus how many k's you see? 7 k's. 56 minus 7k. Okay. So that is distributive property. Distributive property is another way to generate another equivalent expression. It's when you have a group, and so you distribute. Like you're saying 7 groups of 8, 7 groups of k.